Cheers and welcome, my friends. I'm Horath and we are playing Crusader Kings II with the newest DLC, the Reaper's Due. Welcome to a new Let's Play series. We're going to play Björn Ironside, as you probably have already guessed from the title and from the thumbnail. And that is the reason why I'm rocking my Viking bling, and we also do have the Viking beard, and that is also the reason why I brought out the face cam. It's just good fun to have that stuff. I put myself in the lower right corner of the screen because there's the map, and I'm just going to assume that all of you know how the map of Europe looks. Now let's just jump straight in. Options wise, we're obviously going to play on very hard because that's how we roll on this channel. Let's just go for single player. I'm going to choose the Viking Age. I was tempted to play Rurik, actually, which could also be very interesting. I'm not going to read the flavor text. It is a good flavor text, but I'm just going to want to go into the game. But we're going to go for a custom game setup and not Rurik. Maybe Rurik will be the character that we play in another time. Now we're going to play Björn Ironside, the son of Ragnar Lothbrok and the Jarl of Swithyod. I think that's how you say that. So basically the great grandfather of Sweden. And we are in an interesting situation now. Let's just start this, and at the beginning you will be prompted to choose your game rules, and new rules is obviously the Reaper's Due, the major epidemics and the minor epidemics. Now I want this game to be rather interesting. You can choose between dynamic, delayed dynamic, historical and deadly, and that's going to be our setting. So the bubonic plague will appear frequently and be extraordinarily deadly. They even have a warning for this, which says this setting is not recommended for a normal game. But that's just how I like it. Let's see if we can survive that. I think Europe is going to be very, very empty. And I'm going to go for minor epidemics. That's stuff like the measles and typhus and all that stuff. So how do we want to play this? Default, more or fewer? Well, let's have some more of them. Why not? We'll have to actually be quite hardy to survive this stuff. Mongol invasion, could go for historical, random or off. I think I'm going to go for random because this way, if it happens 1210, we're never going to see that. I'm certainly not going to play 400 years. I haven't decided how long this is going to go on. We'll just see how it goes. Not really planning on making this 100 episodes. But we'll see how much it grips me, and there are a lot of other good games coming out. But I'm a huge fan of Crusader Kings. I've played nearly 700 hours. I stopped playing shortly before the Charlemagne expansion came out, just because there were other games that gripped me at that time. I haven't really found back, but I'm back now. I got all the DLCs. Paradox has been so kind as to give me a review code for the Reaper's Due. But all the other DLCs of the game I bought myself, and there are quite a lot of them. So if you want to play this game, you might want to wait for a sale, but you could also go for the release of a new DLC. Paradox tends to put them on sale, put the old DLCs on sale when they release a new one. One of the DLCs is the Sunset Invasion, the Aztec invasion that can happen either in the 13th century or random, and I'm gonna choose random. Now, this basically has the idea that instead of the Europeans going to America and invading the Aztecs are going to invade us because they are a high-tech empire and they got a few bones to pick with us. Now, I really like the idea of alternate reality and alternate history. Some people don't seem to like this. I play with it on just because I like stuff like that happening. It's not too realistic in terms of actual history. There's a great book from a ornithologist and anthropologist, Jared Diamond. It's Rich and Poor in German. I'm not sure how the English title is, but he basically looks at the reasons for why Europe went to the Europeans went to the Americas and not the other way around. And what it basically comes down to is Europe just lucked out in the amount of plants and animals that you could domesticate. There are numbers there. I think Europe had 23 types of plants that you could domesticate and really go into agricultural, massive agricultural cultures, and also a good amount of animals, whilst Northern and Southern America nearly had none. So they just got the short end of the stick, which is a shame, but yeah, that's how it goes. Also, there is another theory. I think it's a historian named Ian Morris, who basically says that because Europe was so splintered politically, there was always the push to increase military tech, which led to... so Europe was a very cutthroat environment, and that way military engineers and people that were good at developing the military always had someone that would pay them. So even if France said, no, we're satisfied, we don't need to increase our army, the military engineer might very well find a job in England or in the Holy Roman Empire or somewhere else. And that actually pushed European military technology quite a bit as compared to China or Japan. Japan after the after being united by Ieyasu Tokugawa, he basically forbade weapons for all the peasants. He took their weapons so that only the samurai were allowed to even carry weapons. And that helped them maintain a tremendous internal stability, but it also stopped the progress of military technology. So there are pros and cons, but that is also one of the reasons why the Europeans went to South America and not the other way around, because you had very splintered geography, and there were always young and hungry states that wanted to get a place in the sun. Now we're going to have Shattered Retreat on, so armies will retreat to into friendly or otherwise safe territory. Retreating armies cannot be engaged by enemy forces. Movement speed and morale regain is increased for retreating armies. That's actually pretty cool. They took that over from Europa Universalis 4. The other option here is off, which is not something that I want. And then we're going to have defensive pacts on, so characters are allowed to join defensive pacts against realms who are threatening. If a member is attacked by the target, all other members will defend them. That's quite nice, actually. You can turn that off, but it will make the game easier, and I'm not a friend of that. So let's just start the game. Enough of my rambling. We don't really need this, because I know about that, but this is actually quite nice. So it shows me what the game rules for my specific things actually are. So it tells me about the culture, about my form of government and what that implies, and about my religion. So because we are Norse, we can raid overseas with ships, and rulers can raid infidel neighbors for loot. Because we are tribe, we get tribal holdings. So we can only build one tribal holding in a province, but the more empty holding spots are in the province, the stronger that particular tribe. I guess because they have more space or something. We do not get vassal tax from the tribal government vassals, and I have to call my tribal government vassals to arms instead of using their levies, which is kind of weird. I don't really like it, but oh well. And then we are Norse, Norse religion, so we believe in Odin, Thor. You have the Norse names down here and the Germanic names down there, Woden and Thunor or Donar in German. So priests can inherit titles and they can marry. Women may own temple holdings, which is kind of cool. Can prepare invasions, so we can say we're going to take this this country, this kingdom, and then we will have warriors flock to our banner in the hope of gaining some nice loot. and then we will have to invade them, or we're gonna lose the warriors and a lot of prestige. One thing that the tribals can do is we can use prestige to improve our holdings, which is quite nice. So it's not really based on money, but instead we have to, yeah, use our prestige to pull more warriors and stuff like that in. And we can take concubines. I don't tend to do that because we are fixed to, I think, Gavelkind. Where is it? I think we have elective Gavelkind, which is not too nice. I don't really want to split my holdings too much. We will have to reform our religion, so that's a thing that we can do. I think we've seen everything in here. You can just go through that if you want to. Just looking at the screen to make sure that I'm not too prominent in the screen, but I think that should be fine. Yeah, let's close this. I know how that works. Now, Gavelkind, where is it? Over here, yeah. We got Agnatic Elective Gavelkind, which means that we can nominate someone. And who can vote? Only males can inherit, but who can vote? Is the question. Oh, I could go for normal Gavelkind. I wonder. Titles of the ruler are divided among his children and the primary heir, who is elected from among the members of the ruling dynasty. Okay. The law defaults to primogeniture. That's nice. You get no prestige penalty for having unlanded sons, which you do when you have Gavelkind, and can have a 30% larger demesne. Demesne is the amount of counties that you can rule by yourself, which is quite important. We'll get to that in a bit. On succession in kingdoms and empires, new kingdoms might be created for younger sons if possible. Junior heirs always get the choice to declare independence without a war. Only males can inherit. Okay, so that's actually not too great, because we might lose a fair bit of our kingdom on death, but that's just the way it is. We are a Germanic Jarldom, which means we have the potential to rise very high, very fast, and when our ruler dies and we lose his charismatic personality, then it's all gonna fall to pieces. That's just how that works and how it works historically. So I'm really glad that they're modeling that. Now, so we're Björn Ironside. Let's have a look at us. So we are a charismatic negotiator. Okay, so we're an excellent diplomat, impressing dignitaries with elegant dress and persuasive rhetoric. That's not quite how I pictured him, but oh well. He's a Viking though, which increases our prestige quite a bit. Martial is increased, personal combat skill, and other people that have that trait like us. And people of our faith really respect the Vikings, so they like us as well. We are a hunter, which is kind of nice. Pursuit plus 20%, so we know how to pursue fleeing enemies. We are brave, there's no surprise about that. We're temperate, but we're greedy, okay. And we're proud, yeah, obviously. Okay. And we do have a fair amount of titles, so we do have Gastricland, we do have Södermanland, and we do have Uppland. So these 3 places are ours. And that adds to our demesne size. We can have a demesne of 5 counties at the same time, or yeah, 5 titles, 5 landed titles, I should say, because later you can have more castles in one county, and they count towards the demesne size, even if you build them in the same county. So I could fill this 5 demesne size just with having this one and 4 castles in that one county, which is, it does have its advantages, because we do have a council over here, and if you put the marshal on there, you can see that they can do different things. And if I send them to train troops, they're going to increase the levy size by 27.5% and the reinforcement rate by 55% in a specific province. So if you concentrate all your castles, all your titles in one province, you will be able to use your council persons in a really good way, because you'll be you'll be able to focus on one province. So all those 5 castles that I would have in here would actually gain the 27% increase in levy size, which is really substantial. As you can see, we can raise 693 troops in here. If I had 5 of these, and they were all at the same level, I would have about 3,500 troops. And let's say, for the sake of argument, that the marshal applies a 1/3 bonus, we would get over 1,000 men additionally. So that's actually quite powerful. But there are also other reasons that you might not want to do that, because you can build other stuff over here. We can't do that because we're a tribe, but if you're feudal, then you can build cities, and those cities will also provide levies. And these direct vassals that you have are way easier to control than vassals with their own landed titles. Like, let's say for example the chief of Nerike. He's a noble in his own right, and his direct vassals will be loyal to him. So having cities in your counters is actually a good way to have more loyal vassals. You can also build temples, but I find the clergy more difficult to influence than the cities. And the cities, I think they have a little bit better troops. But yeah, the problem is that we won't really be able to raise any levies from our chiefs, which is a problem. So we will have to rely on our own troops to a fair extent. Religion-wise, since we are Norse, we will be able to reform our religion to make it a more organized religion that can actually stand up against the Christians. And for that, we will have to control 3 of the 5 holy places of our faith. We got 5 of them, I think. Over here. So we got 1 holy place over here. Tholen in Zealand, and we got 1 down here in Braunschweig in Germany. We got 1 in Schierland, and we're already controlling 1 over here in Uppland, and we would need Naumerdal over there as well. And that's going to be one of our first goals, because one of the decisions that we can do is we can adopt feudalism, which will convert all the tribal holdings into castles. Where this occurs, if the county is big enough, city and temple holdings will also be created if they do not exist already. Your vassals are likely to follow suit if they are of your religion and culture. And that has actually a good amount of useful consequences. It will make our realm a lot more stable and all that. So that is what we want. And as you can see, we need to be not a unreformed pagan. So that has to happen. Concerning Björn Ironside, you might see that we are in the war. Oh, you can actually see that, but I'm just going to bring it up. There's a little icon down here that shows you the current war. So we're currently in the Sons of Lothbrok invasion of Northumberland, which started in 865. And we're fighting against King Erla of Northumbria, because King Erla of Northumbria actually killed our father. He killed Ragnar Lothbrok in a pit of snakes, and that has enraged his sons. And Ragnar Lothbrok has a good amount of very powerful sons. So he got Halfdan Whiteshirt, he got Björn Ironside, but we also have other sons of Lothbrok in the war. So we got this guy, Ivar the Boneless, who is the lord of Sudreyar. He's reigning over the Outer Hebrides, so he's in the fight, and I think we have a couple of others as well. I think we should have Sigurd Snake in the Eye in this war as well. Are you in a war? Yeah, you're in a war. So all the sons of Lothbrok are actually out there to kick the snot out of King Erla of Northumberland. Now, normally I would just go and try to unify the Swedish kingdoms Swithiot under my banner and try to become king. But since we are Björn Ironside, I think we're going to have a bit of a different agenda, because it will be very difficult for us to stomach the fact that our father got killed. So we will use all our power and our forces to actually join the war and bring King Eladon. We're gonna take personal revenge. Oh, nice! You can actually see the Hadrian's Wall. That wasn't there when I played last time. I really like it. Nice one. I wonder if you can see the lemurs in Germany as well. I guess you can't. Okay, well, I guess the Hadrian's Wall is the more important one. But yeah, as for now, I think I'm going to end it here. We're coming up on 22 minutes. In the next episode, we will start to train troops. We're going to deploy our council persons. I'm going to go into that in the next episode. And then we'll sail to England and kick the butt of King Ella and fight with our brothers to avenge our father. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, if you enjoyed it, please leave a like, especially useful in the first episode of a series. If you didn't, tell me why in the comments so I can improve. And if you want to see more of this series in the future, please consider subscribing to the channel if you aren't already. Hope you join me next time for the story of Björn Ironside. Thanks and bye bye.